Okay, so I do work in treatment centers, behavioral hospitals, and do life coaching with people who maybe can get the help that they need without having to check into a residential type of facility. Here's some of what I've come up with in terms of what happens when people have a psychotic episode. Most psychotic episodes are temporary. It's situational, something is going on. There are people who have mental disorders that, regardless of whether life is going well or not, that they are still having a psychotic episode, hearing voices, different things like that. But that's very, very unusual. And even with those people, it can be treatable to be less severe if they're doing the things that they should be doing to take care of themselves. And it's more severe when their life situations are more traumatic at that moment. So regardless, you want to try to treat things in the most common sense and simple way, and ways in which you can measure. And so always go towards taking care of your self-care first as a way of alleviating problems and changing your life situation so that the life events around you are not so stressful that they cause you problems. So temporary mental, emotional, and physical disorders that could cause a psychotic episode would be that you're having erratic behaviors, you're having lapses in rational thinking or common sense, your disregard for safety of yourself and others, and your disregard for consequences of the behavior that you're having. Those are signs that you're going through some sort of at least a temporary mental, physical, or emotional disorder. What causes that? Dehydration can cause a psychotic episode, poor nutrition, sleep deprivation, loss of support of a loving relationship, divorce, a death, that breakup. By putting toxic substances in your body, you can cause a psychotic episode. Normal adolescent hormonal swings causes teenagers come off psychotic sometimes, and that is actually a normal part of adolescence, is that they are going through a lot of stress and trauma just hormonally. And so if you see that, it doesn't mean that, oh my God, my teenager got a personality disorder, they're a mental case, they're going to be this way for the rest of their lives. It's like, no, it's probably just normal adolescence, and they're acting out on it in a way that matches a mental disorder, emotional disorder, that with the erratic behaviors and all of that. Again, that can be normal in adolescence. You certainly don't want to ignore it. You want to do treatment of it, and the treatment that they're going to need is take care of themselves. So self-care treatment, drink water in 8-ounce cups or whatever, so that you're getting 8 cups of water. If you're trying to measure it, a cup is 8 ounces, and so you want to have at least 8 of those in a day. You could put all of it into a big container and throughout the day drink from that, but you want to get 6 to 8 cups of water in you a day to stay well hydrated. For somebody who is used to not drinking any water and they're only drinking alcohol or soda or coffee, that you may have to start off cutting back on those things and increasing your water to where you switch off. If I have a cup of coffee, then I'm going to have a cup of water, and then if I have a cup of soda, I'm going to have a cup of water, and eventually get to where you really don't have hardly any of those other substances, especially alcohol, especially other drugs. Eat nutritious foods. Again, if your diet is all unhealthy foods, you may have to change your diet in order to eat better so that your body gets the nutrition it needs to work properly. If you're dehydrated, your body isn't working properly. If your body isn't working properly, your mind is not working properly. If your mind is not working properly, your emotions are not working properly. So you've got to take care of your physical self in order to be mentally and emotionally healthy. Get 8 hours of sleep at night. If you're like, I don't need to sleep, I can just stay up. And it's like, you can get away with doing that some, but if you make a habit out of that, then again, you're setting yourself up for a psychotic break. Sleep deprivation is one reason why people have psychotic breaks. Have loving and caring and supportive relationships with people. If you have at least some of those in your life, it will help keep you stable. If you find that those keep diminishing and that you keep either having isolation of no relationships, or the relationships that you have are with people who don't really love you and care about you, and that they're just trying to take advantage of you and get you to do the unhealthy things that they do, then that can really get in the way of your being able to be stable and healthy. You can look like you're having a mental breakdown. Don't poison yourself with recreational drugs. That, again, your body was not meant to put those toxic things in it. It's not healthy for you. It's a temporary escape. It's a recreational release. But you can find other ways of recreating. And if you need to escape from your life, you probably need to work on problem solving some things in your life and making changes, as opposed to trying to escape it, because you don't really escape yourself. I say this all the time to people, that no matter what I do or where I go, when I look around, there I am. So I'm not really escaping myself. I'm just pretending to escape by putting toxic substances in my body, which alters my mood and takes me away from being able to cope with it and deal with it. But doesn't mean the problem doesn't still exist. So live your life in good, orderly direction. That's an AA thing. When people are trying to find a higher power and they don't really have an understanding of what God is, they're confused about that. That one of the things we tell them in 12-step program is make God, G-O-D, good, orderly direction, and live your life according to good, orderly direction. Do self-care things, and that will start to move you to be much more stable and then capable. And then you can find a better definition or an expanded definition of what your higher power is or God is as you get healthier. But right now, you're very stressed out, you're in crisis, you're traumatized, and you need to just take care of yourself in ways that you're not doing right now in order to stabilize. So.